Fans have been watching Bryan Okwara and Sonia UCHE closely lately, and something about their vibe is not sitting like ordinary acting anymore, because every time they appear on screen together, there's this calm but deep connection that people can't ignore, and it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not overdone. But somehow it feels stronger than all the exaggerated chemistry we're used to seeing, and that's exactly why fans are starting to question it, because when something feels too natural, people begin to wonder if there's something more behind it all, and the comment sections are not even hiding it anymore. You'll see people saying this doesn't look like acting, or why does this feel so real, or the way he looked at her here was different, and it keeps repeating over and over again across different clips and different scenes. And at some point, it stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like a pattern, and that's where the curiosity begins to grow, because fans are not just watching anymore, they are analyzing every little detail, the pauses, the eye contact, the body language, the way conversations flow between them, even in moments where nothing big is happening. And somehow those quiet moments are the ones people keep going back to, because they carry something subtle, something that feels unplanned, something that doesn't look like it was rehearsed 100 times. And in an industry where everything is usually polished and perfected, this kind of rawness stands out immediately, and once people notice it, they can't unsee it, and that's when the theories start forming, because now it's no longer just about the movie, it becomes about what's happening behind the scenes, what's not being said, what might be real, and what might just be really good acting. And the funny thing is, nobody has actually confirmed anything, there's no official statement, no clear evidence, nothing concrete, but that hasn't stopped the conversation, because fans don't always need confirmation, they build their own narratives from what they see and what they feel, and right now what they are feeling is that something about Bryan and Sonia goes beyond just playing roles, and whether that feeling is right or wrong doesn't even matter at this point, because the belief itself is what is driving the attention, and you can see it in how clips are being reposted, slowed down, zoomed in, analyzed frame by frame, like people are trying to find hidden meanings in the smallest gestures. And sometimes it's something as simple as a smile that lasts a second longer than expected, or a reaction that feels too genuine to be scripted, and suddenly that becomes a whole conversation on its own. And the more people talk about it, the bigger it gets, and the more others start noticing things they didn't notice before, and that's how it spreads quietly without any official push, just pure audience curiosity building momentum on its own. And what makes this even more interesting is that their style of acting actually supports these kinds of reactions, because they don't overplay emotions, they don't exaggerate expressions. They keep things controlled and natural, which makes every real-looking moment stand out even more, because it doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel like they are trying to convince you, it just feels like it is what it is, and that kind of simplicity can easily blur the line between acting and reality, especially for viewers who are already emotionally invested, and once that line becomes blurry, it opens the door for all kinds of interpretations, because now people are not just watching a story, they are trying to read between the lines and understand what might be happening underneath it all, and that's where the question keeps coming back again and again. Is this just acting, or is there something more going on that we are not being told? And the truth is, good actors are supposed to make you feel like what you are watching is real. That's literally the goal, to create believable moments that pull you in completely and make you forget that it's all scripted. And in that sense, you could argue that Bryan and Sonia are simply doing their job really well, delivering performances that connect deeply and leave a lasting impression. But at the same time, not every on-screen chemistry triggers this level of reaction from fans, not every pairing gets people this invested, this curious, this convinced that something else might be happening. And that's what keeps the conversation alive, because there's something about their dynamic that feels different from the usual, something that doesn't follow the typical patterns people are used to seeing. And when something breaks the pattern, it naturally draws more attention, because people want to understand why it feels different, what makes it stand out, what exactly they are seeing that they can't fully explain. And as more people join in the discussion, the interpretations keep evolving. Some believe it's purely professional, two talented actors who understand each other's rhythm and energy perfectly, and are able to translate that into convincing performances, while others are not so sure. They feel like there are moments that go beyond what acting alone can produce, moments that look spontaneous, moments that feel personal, moments that don't quite fit into the idea of everything being planned and controlled. And this split in opinion is exactly what keeps the topic trending, because now it's not just about watching, it's about debating it, it's about sharing perspectives, it's about trying to prove or disprove something that may not even have a clear answer, and that kind of open-ended curiosity is what drives engagement, because people love mysteries, people love situations where they can form their own conclusions and compare them with others, and right now Bryan Okwara and Sonia UCHE have unintentionally become part of that kind of conversation, where their on-screen presence is being interpreted in multiple ways all at once and no single explanation fully settles it, which keeps the cycle going because every new clip, every new scene, every new interaction adds more material for people to analyze and react to, and as long as that continues, the question will keep coming back stronger each time: is it just acting, or is there something more? And the reality is sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. Sometimes it really is just great acting combined with natural compatibility between two professionals who understand their craft and know how to bring out the best in each other. But at the same time, the way audiences connect with what they see can create its own reality, because perception is powerful. If enough people feel something strongly enough, it starts to take on a life of its own regardless of whether it's confirmed or not. And that's exactly what is happening here: a mix of strong performances, natural chemistry, and audience imagination, blending together into a narrative that feels bigger than the actual scenes themselves. And whether it's real or not, the impact is undeniable, because people are watching, people are talking, people are paying attention, and in today's entertainment space, that level of engagement is not easy to achieve, and it doesn't happen randomly. It usually comes from something that resonates deeply with viewers, something that triggers emotion, curiosity, or even a sense of mystery, and Bryan and Sonia seem to have tapped into that space, where their presence creates just enough intrigue to keep people interested without giving away too much.